Good day, everyone, and welcome to our first J9 podcast. Today's topic, debunking myths and misconceptions of the DEOCS survey. We have a panel of subject matter experts, and we look forward to hearing from you and engaging in a robust discussion. But before we begin, I would like everyone to introduce themselves because the question is why? Why are we here and why should I listen to you? I know on social media there's a lot of subject matter experts. Individuals read a book and the next day they are financial coaches, they're therapists. So on this panel we have many, many years of experience, and I thought it would be beneficial for you to know who was talking to you. So I will begin with Sergeant Level. Okay.
Thank you for having me. I'm State Command Sergeant Major Mark Leonard. Happy to be here today. 34 years in the military. Happy to speak to you.
Chief?
I'm Chief Master Sergeant Wayne Miller, State Command Chief. 32 years and counting, and I continue and excited by his end.
First Sergeant?
First Sergeant Greeley, First Headquarters First Sergeant, 19 years in, and I'm excited to talk to you today.
Senior?
Good morning. My name is Senior Master Sergeant Christopher Chiola, 20 years in, and I am the Human Resource Advisor at the 177th Fighter Wing. And I am also very excited to be here.
Tech Sergeant?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tech Sergeant Jennifer Rodriguez. I previously was the Equal Opportunity Specialist for 7 years with Joint First Headquarters with Civilian. I'm excited to be here from my wealth knowledge and background, as well as my military background. I've been in for 18 years now. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to these men.
Ms. Hawkins?
I am Sinead Hawkins. I am your state sexual assault prevention and response officer. I've been here with National Guard for the past 6 years. I'm not in the Guard, but I am a retired Pacific Marine. And I'm the state subject matter expert for sexual assault.
And I am Nicola Laurie. And on September 23rd, I would have been here 1 year. And we are the facilitator of the DEOCS, the Integrated Primary Prevention Program. So that's us. Let me ask you guys before we get into the DEOCS, how many of you know what the G9 is? Okay, I'll take it back.
So, from my understanding, you're basically preventionists intended to address family concerns, sexual assault, domestic violence, in not only prevention, but reactive capacity as well.
Good. The J9 is a relatively new program. And under the J9 umbrella, the programs are both preventive and resiliency. We have programs such as substance abuse, suicide prevention, resiliency, family programs, child and youth services, integrated primary prevention, sexual assault, state EO. And there's a whole list of programs on your chairs. There's a QR code. If you scan it, you can learn more about our services and the programs under the G9 umbrella. So now let's get into the reason why we're here. Let's talk DEOCS, right? That's why I came. So I want to begin by asking the panel a few questions, and then we will turn it over to the audience to ask us some questions as well. So let me begin by asking Ms. Rodriguez. So she introduced herself as the DEOCS subject matter expert, right? Because I'll go back to that. Ms. Rodriguez, what is the DEOCS and what is the purpose of the DEOCS?
I'm going to put it in layman's terms. I'm not going to bring one acronym, but basically the DEOCS is a survey that is done at the unit levels engaged with the unit of your work session, right? We ask that everyone to be honest on it because it is anonymous. I don't really hear do some last shit like that, but we'll talk more about it when it comes up. And this is so that the command team, whether they've been in the command for a while or they just took command, to kind of gauge what the climate experiment and see what are certain things that they need to maybe address, speak on, maybe certain processes that need to be addressed. That's the opportunity for service members to speak up and kind of channel their voice up the chain of command in a collaborative effort. When they say they're not ready to just go forward or as long as you're too busy, you just take the DI survey, voice your opinion about certain things, write comments about anything that maybe is not mentioned or some of the risk factors that are mentioned, and just address whatever issues or maybe what dates that are more with you.
So now I'm gonna ask CSM and Chief this question. How does the DEOCS fit into the overall mission of the New Jersey National Guard?
So to answer that, I think you have to look at, what is the mission of the National Guard? So the National Guard is a reserve force, again, to fight and win our nation's wars. And the DEOCS helps that by helping our greatest resource in the Guard, which are people. Supports our people at DEOCS does. Ultimately, it's about communication between every soldier and their community. You don't always get a chance as a soldier to sit down one-on-one with the commander and talk about everything you'd like to talk about, or senior NCOs. This DEOCS provides for you. And it's structured so that it actually kind of forces you to answer some questions regarding all kinds of things, climate, food, current command. So that's why it can be very helpful and very useful, as I always encourage people to take it, because you take it very seriously at every level of the command. It provides us a way, the commander's always assessing where he's at, and wants to know how he's taking care of his force and what he can do to make things better. And this DEOCS, by participating in it, gives you the opportunity to be part of it.
Yeah, I'd like to add, one of the things that a chain of command owes you is an environment for which you can get after the mission and be the best airman the soldiers can believe in you. We put on this uniform and we swear oaths to defend our nation, and it's the chain of command's responsibility to maximize that environment such that you be the best you do, and to get after that, to be ready, and to do what's needed of everyone. And we also owe you the opportunity within that private culture, to be able to develop and to have a career and career opportunities to get you to where you want to go as part of our years in depth.
How is confidentiality maintained to ensure that respondents feel safe when providing honest feedback?
So the survey is completely anonymous, despite what's in making. When you answer your questions, and when all the answers come through on the survey, they're gauged together in a percentage of the response that the unit has done for our internal questions. It's never like one survey that's the commanders haven't really had on surveys, but that's okay. Second is, yes, we do answer what our name is and what our DOD ID is when we first enter the survey, but that is just to ensure that we are the unit that we're thinking to be. As soon as we answer those parts of the survey, I include myself because I take it too, that information then disappears. Another thing, so that you are aware of, the DEOCS survey is processed through DRC, which is the survey platform, which is not managed by any of us at all. We work together basically with DOD, who has the platform set up for us. We provide just the roster through their platform, and that's how we set it up for each unit. This year we've gone forward, the team has gone forward, I should say, since like my previous job, and set up action officers at a student level, which unit members are supposed to work with. And let's say for some reason you find that, I tried to take the survey, but it wasn't letting me. It's probably more than likely that the information was incorrect on the roster, or something was outdated. So we just work with your action officers to make sure that your information is correct. They can then get in, and then we'll maybe able to get in. But like I mentioned before, all that information that you enter in the initial part of the survey, none of that is captured, and that none of that comes back to command or even the administrators. That's just to ensure that the numbers are correct. And I will say another little tidbit about that from historically working on DEOCS surveys. The reason that they did that is that in the past, it used to be just, you just needed a password and it was the password that was given for the unit and your name. And what happened that when people would you do it that way is if they weren't on the roster, they were still able to take the survey. So it could be like when unit members came in, or so the people, I don't know if that was what's happening, so people were taking the survey more than once. And so then our results were all skewed because we had like rosters and we had certain amount of number of members, and then it said, oh, 130% notification for response rates. So it's an improvement. So that's why you see that. But I can guarantee you from the results, no information on there that identifies anybody that takes the survey. Only way I will show this is if the unit member literally goes their name on the comment section, because the only way somebody would be identified. That every goes over to call it again. How could I?
So this question is mine, but I'll read it clear. What occurs after the DEOCS closes, and what should service members expect to see? So, beginning in 2023, when the prevention program was stood up, we are responsible for creating a plan of action with the survey results. So we get the survey results, we collaborate with your leadership, subject matter experts, and even soldiers and airmen to create a plan of action. We present that plan of action to your leadership, and once your leadership approves the plan of action, the plan is implemented. The first step in our plan of action is that survey results should be briefed back to you. So at some drill, you should know what the survey results were, what the risks were, and what the plan of action is. Let me say this. The survey closes in November, and we get the results maybe December. So you should be hearing from your leadership around January, February as to what the survey said, what your comments said, what the climate is. And we will continue to work the kind of actions we'll be leading. Once again, what's unique about the gun, and I don't think that it's took this into consideration with this DEOCS cycle, the results has to be in by January, but in August, the DEOCS cycle begin again. In August, you're being surveyed again. So you have several 8 months. We have, right? This is all of us. We have several 8 months to implement a plan. Behavior, I'm a social worker by trade, and behavior takes a while to change. So if things have been occurring in the unit for a period of time, we may not see change in 7 or 8 months. But let me say this, but there's always a caveat. Chances are the results, the risk that was identified in this survey may still be identified in 2025 survey. So we will really just be continuing the plan. What's great about our program is that accountability is made easy. So this is just sort of one and done. We create the plan and we put it into the national database. That plan has to be updated every 6 months. Chances are the first thing we implemented may not work right. How many have kids? Giving one thing. All right. So you teach your child something. I'm not calling you kids, but I'm talking to parents. And those of you who have been around kids, and you try something the first time. I'm talking about potty training, and Michael may have to take this out of the podcast. It's not like listen. So you're teaching your child to potty train, and the neighbor says, use toilets. I normally put Fruit Loops in the toilet, and I tell him to eat. That may work for the neighbor, but that may not work for my job, right? You're smiling. You use Fruit Loops, didn't you?
That's a good idea.
That's why I'm here. I'm a veteran. I'm trying to prevent the mess in the bathroom, right? That's why I'm here. So what we implement the first time may work for one unit, but it may not work for another unit. And we will have to go back to the drawing board and to operate to come up with a new kind of action. And what's great, that's a great lot, my great program. But what I really like as well is that we're talking to you. We're talking to sexual assault, we're talking to you. We're talking to different agencies because we don't know what works. We are not in your units. We don't know what works, so we need your input in order to create backlash. Okay? So now I want to ask the panel members that have not said anything as yet this question. What are some concerns you or your peers have as to the reason why you are not taking the DEOCS survey? And this may not be you. This may be something you heard.
I think it ultimately comes down to the feeling that it is not anonymous. I think we've heard a lot. I have specifically heard a lot of Arabic express concern that I have to put my DOD ID number in there and they're going to track me. And that is, in my opinion, the number one concern.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it's on. The other one would be time that it takes to do it. Personally, I can attest that when I would take the DEOCS in the past, it was quite a bit long and it was very exhausting. And that makes, at least it did make me hesitate a little bit to take it this go around because I'm thinking, do I have enough time to actually finish this? Am I going to come back to it? All of those things. When I took it recently, it took me like 20 minutes. And I don't think that that's a well-known fact amongst the population that does not take the DEOCS survey. So I think that's highly advisable to share with your people that are hesitant as, hey, it does not take as long as it needed to. And I think the questions present more clarity as well, too, because some of that in the past were really had to think about. The questions now, I think, are way more straightforward than they might be in the past. So that sense of account that I'm being tracked and it's going to take too long are probably the primary drivers, the primary barriers, rather, that prevent people from taking it.
So, seeing that Ms. Rodriguez explained that your DEOCS ID goes away now, do you feel that that's something that people need to know and they will want to take the survey if they know that? Or do you think that they're in the stage where they're like, I don't have to leave that girl with the DEOCS?
I think it's not good. You can probably tell them so you're blue in the face that they're not tracking you. And I don't think it matters to a lot of people because people are skeptical of anything involving the internet, which put the computer. I just don't think, leadership is not tracking you. It's going to make that sense go away. So what I would encourage anyone that are involved in that experience that is, okay, fine. There's nothing that I can say that's going to convince you otherwise to get it. We're not going to have this conversation, but what I would encourage you to do is when you submit your feedback, submit it as if you were giving it to giving the feedback in person, like one-on-one, face-to-face. Don't be, for lack of a better term, in your comments box and say all this random stuff with, just abrasively negative things. Give positive, well, not positive, give constructive feedback that your senior leaders can actually action. And if you're worried about them coming after you, I don't think that's the case if you approach your feedback with tact as if it's yours. So you may not be able to convince them otherwise. At least you can say, hey, give feedback, so anybody does.
So basically, I want to, like you said, I think a lot of this scare tactic is that disorders do believe that there's going to be some sort of reprimand for the answers that they put on the survey. And I can attest that this is my first year of being surveyed as a first sergeant, and I would ask the question throughout the office if there is a way for us to see if we didn't take it, or we didn't take it just by the DOD, not necessarily see what the answers that they put, but just to see if they took it. And maybe question those on why didn't you take it, and what are the reasons to not take it. But of course, there's really no way for us to know that.
Now you're done. Go ahead.
But I would say, like, constructive criticism. You fill these surveys out with legitimate reasons or things that you've seen throughout the past year on your certain your chain. Like maybe I personally did something, I didn't see it from your perspective, but you're giving that to me on these surveys. Now that opens up my eyes to adjust and move forward and fix that problem for the next year. But if I don't know, then it could still be a problem for the next year or the next 2 years. And
So before you jump in, senior, you said something, but your voice went down. But I want them to hear it. So you said, First Sergeant, that you asked our office if we could tell you who did not take the survey, and our answer was,
No,
we don't even
we
know.
don't even know. We
We
think
don't even know. I just wanted to make sure we said that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that was along the lines of what I was going to comment on, is that I think there's an interesting cognitive loop that happens with this whole process. And it's, my leadership wants you to think this DEOCS, take the DEOCS. We're not tracking you. So part of me says, I'm going to take it. And let's see if they call me on. So I don't take it, and I wait. And I see. Does somebody come to me and say, hey, see, you take the DEOCS? That has opened, taken the DEOCS every single year. But the years that I have not done it, just personal testimony, nobody has ever come to me and said, hey, you really need to take this. It has never once happened. I've never heard of anybody saying that happened to them. And I really easily think that they are trapped. As Seth Rodriguez says, self-identifying in the commons folks.
Ms. Hawkins, same question to you, but for the T5 population.
What I know it is, most people aren't speaking with because the narrative that was like an egg what is. They're putting all of this information out there for the masses to hear. They're giving detailed information for those that actually do or can follow on comments in the comment box. But time after time, what they see is nothing has changed. Like no one is taking extra step to make sure that their voices are legit heard. So they're doing what they're supposed to, and we're giving the proper information to feedback. But once we do that, then what next? Because if the culture tends to stay the same year after year, it's like, why are we doing this? Why are we wasting all of this extra time? And I liked what you said about filling out the answers as if you were talking to the person directly. Again, still the problem with that comes in. I gave you all of all of this information out there for you guys to hear. Now, why are you using it? The follow-on to that is we all know no one really wants to talk about the negative or the bad things, but that's the place for them to be able to voice it anonymously. But they still will always have in the back of their mind because they are in the military. Regardless if you are a T5 person or you are a service member, in the back of their mind, they're going to be able to figure out who put down certain stuff as survival percentage under certain things is so high. Because I get the results from it when it pertains to my program to see where is influx of activity within a perspective of me. So I can't tell you who those people are because 9 times out of 10, I don't know. And you would be really surprised if they found out that a lot of those people that are putting that information down are really our senior people and not our junior people that figured that was the best way to let it be known that we had quality with maybe few posts.
I want to ask Sergeant She. Something she said was, they don't take the survey because they don't see change. Do you want to address that?
Sure. And I totally understand where she has how we fell off. My response would be to the 2 soldiers in the open here and ones to the list that we need to take something and all the way down. Once this survey is done, one of the first people is to attack myself and immediately look at what the issues are, how we start responding to them. And the tag will address the candidates all are being supported plans and say, hey, what if we're going to do, what is the plan? They have each act to learn, what it goes up like this. I'm bringing this up in the senior enlisted meetings that I have with the sergeant majors and also the list meetings that I have community representatives from all your units. But I do say it goes back to something Nicole said earlier too, that sometimes we have recurring things. We can't fix things overnight. A lot of our problems are complex, so they're very simple and easy. We simple and easy, we look at we do already fix. So it's something we need to continually work at. And it kind of goes back to one thing with DEOCS. If we don't take it, you don't identify a problem, those that we work on. Because there are a bunch of things to work on. And our work, we can respond to it. So I would say, stay with it. We definitely have a leadership team that's leadership the organization there. And if you truly care about the organization yourself, you'll take some capital and responsibility you want to make these organization leaders against Lord where you get that.
G? Yeah, if I could add, one of the things that I think is part of the issue is as leaders, we owe three things to those products. We owe you, hey, this is what was in the DEOCS survey, here's what we saw. We go to hire this is what we're going to try to do to get after it. And then the last piece that is part that can fall flat sometimes is follow up. What happens if you do all this work, look at it, you read it, you have this great coas, and then the mission happens. And so I think it is coming upon us, our challenge is to follow up the wanting balance and growth and after. I think the other piece too, with this, like what's Jim Iverman on the air side, mentioned both ladies last week. We talked about the I think it's important to also manage expectations about what the DEOCS is intended to do and then what it's not really equipped to do. So if you put in the DEOCS survey very specific things that you would like to see actually, remember the survey is anonymous. And sometimes it is very possible to figure out exactly what the issue is and where it's coming from. There are better mechanisms for if you have something that you want to press to use. And you chain of command, use the helping agencies, EO, IT, and if you use those services, they get your issue heard, and then you get a response to it. But if you use your DEOCS, which is anonymous, to say, hey, this is what I see is going on, you're not maximizing, in my mind, the better platforms to get after those specific issues. And so when you take that time to fill it out, you're like, they haven't done anything about it. So they pretty mixed in with all the other information you're zero. And so that makes it hard to address those things that are very much to me in that moment, because we don't necessarily know where it's going. That's right.
Thank you, Chief. So now I want to open it up to the floor to ask us questions as it pertains to any concerns that you may have about the DEOCS, or maybe, okay, I see. Okay.
So my name is Lester. My question is, your question saying that why are people to use? So why is it to be mandatory?
Why is it not mandatory?
Right.
Okay, so I'll jump in and then Tech Sergeant Rodriguez, you can jump in as well. So it's not mandatory because we want good feedback. Sometimes when we make an individual do something, all the answers may be C, right? I'm just going to choose C down the line. I'm just going to choose follow the middle down the line because they want me to take the survey, I'm going to take the survey. And in the comments, it may read, Staff Sergeant Nicole made me take this survey and here is my results, right? Whereas if you choose to take the survey, then you're doing it because you want to. and then we will get good, rich information that we could use to drive change.
Yeah, I really don't have anything else to add. So when she said that you know, don't want to force people, want you to come voluntarily, that you like that means yeah, you run the risk of that any survey if you force somebody to say that that always be man or circuits aren't really 100% where it is. But what people's perspectives are, but nevertheless, you know, we do want to hear from them, you know, participate to see what they could do with that data at the rate.
In regards to the mandatory not making use of restrictions, I understand how that is defined, but I will tell you that I was asked several times by several leaders in Lackland across the region, don't restrict the survey, don't restrict the survey, don't restrict the survey. And now you know I had about 75 kilos in my mistake. So of course you managed to, but it really, really was hard for me not to do research. So of course, you know, we're not managed voters, but if you come to IBC weekend, and the second thing on the business meeting was, hey, this weekend, don't take that survey. It's kind of scary to check the survey. And it's like,
I think the message to the top down is very general the 46 so it's not mandatory, but it's highly encouraged. So it does. I see why you get messages. I don't ask you try to see the starting point to the place. It goes back to each kid wants to know showing them where you that years you believe that and your CSL in relationship. And they need that feedback. This is just one of many ways. It's not the only way. This is one of many ways to that teachers come. So you need to go. Well, good morning. I'm sorry, something early. MRD, the metal be good. And I know a lot of soldiers do understand that the DOP number goes way and they intend to prevent, skewing the results or anything like that. But then a lot of soldiers have concerns with then they know their ethnicity, their rank, what they do, and then it's like really narrows it down. So my question was, when it goes to the multiple choice questions, is that a percentage-based result? And then are all the comments just put on a list that they're all seen, or does somebody go in and consolidate the comments as well?
When it comes to like those self-identifying kind of categories like race, gender, ethnicity, depending on who says they after a certain number of gifts in my parts or CC that identify that well identify with that category, unfortunately all of that data disappears for the protection of the anonymity as well the anonymity of the service member. Now, in regards to like what you mentioned as far as all these other categories, overall, like if they're in the same unit, that is all going to be the whole unit, right? So if it's more so like the self-identifying details, those disappear. It's less. I think it's less than 3 or 6 but to have a roster of at least 15 or 16 members on the roster in order to basically be able to get the results that you need. And then what we end up doing for those smaller units, because I know that they're especially county side and companies that are really, really small, we'll end up moving it up to the next echelon and that's how they really district to the next level of echelon so that way you can maintain activity. It's still within their chain of command, but the leads are mixed in with the others so that way the worker's identity is productive. And then in the answer the question about the comments all come together one big thing. Like it's not like by section, it's not even subgroups. It's just pages of comments, and the only thing is we'll have a question that relates to all the answers, right? So the kind of time and I just put in your comments. There's all types of comments. We've seen comments of just no, and just like he's like. Some people write, some people just fill in space with a whole bunch of just keys. So it's just information, but it's not separated by unit or by anything, only by the question that pertains that comment pertains to.
So I've been aware of, I'm sort of a creative touch battalion, so it's listening before the word debate as a touch as well. The question is, what is different about this year's survey as the previous years?
Thank you so much. That's what I was going to jump in on. So last year, the survey was done at the state level. And it was broken down. This entire survey was for the state, and then MSCs for the Army side received their results, and the wings for the air side received their results. So those were subgroups. So, as Jennifer mentioned, it was difficult to understand what risk went where, right? So this year the survey is different. This year for Army side, it was done at the battalion level, and the subgroups or the groups under the battalion, which is the company, is being surveyed, and that's the lowest that we're using, right? So we're looking at the your battalion, what's going on overall in your battalion, and what's going on in your company. For air, we did it, I don't mess this up. For the air, we did it at the group level, and then the subgroups are the squadrons. So that's the difference. Last year, it was on a bigger scale, and it was very difficult for leaders to know, is this me or is that you? But this year, it's good now, a little bit more.
And so just quickly, just to clarify, when she says, is this me, is this, or is that you, she's talking about amongst commanders, right? Because these climate surveys are for the command teams to understand what the climate is for their session. So this year, the way they broke it down, command is able to gauge it. Okay, this is pertaining to climate activity. You know, my soldiers are saying they see an uptick in ops tempo, and it's affecting the way the morale at the unit, you know, stuff like that. Other than that, like some names on it, they just get to help me specifically to the section that's being affected by whatever results they get in the survey.
For the air side, what we encountered was we took our DEOCS surveys the way we had always done in the past, and then we had the state one. So we ended up having two DEOCS surveys during the same time period. And what we saw for the state level one was we had a lot of folks that like, we already filled it out for the when. And then we did this one with the hashtag and then all the others. What's different this year is you only take it once. It's once a year, not periodic, and it's one DEOCS survey for the whole state. And so what's for us is not taking the fault of the vaccine.
Yeah, if I could just add to your question, we certainly want you to feel anonymous to be the so that they feel that they're years. But we also have to receive the information in a way that we can actually look at what is thought. I'll give you the analogy. Just imagine if the governor came out and said he had a problem speeding in the state, and I need all the police chiefs to take care of it. Well, is it probably equally across the state? You know, or speed probably is probably more like sure, like there's a deck where you go more affidavit to not maybe small town. I live down by Elmore, Salem County. Just there's like 100 people live in that town. Do they need to be, you know, that expertise there? You know, really thinking so. So it's that kind of thing, or we want action.
Okay, so we have 5 more minutes. Does ask, go ahead, Nana.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. I think universally, what I had experiences that is sort of just about time. So I tell you that, for example, you had a great shrub class 2 months ago. Do you guys have any problems with everybody that kind of influenced it? Because I think people something out of your shrub class that benefits their city. I guess you're right. Is there any not understanding shot? So that when you just survey certain questions I would have for them, they can understand what I would do with it. They might understand that what we all have with us. And so the questions that are that I very it's not specific minus time. Yeah.
So our recommendation was from last year that our recommendation was that during drill formation, a period of time we set aside for the individuals to fill out the survey. That may not have come down all the way down the pipe, but we did ask for protected time for individuals to complete the survey. That was your question, right? Is there a way to get protected time so you can do the survey and you're not running around? Okay, that was our recommendation. Is that good?
And then, I'm sorry.
And that was done best for me, too, is to use soldiers and fellow computers. Because not everybody has the time or the access, let's give them and give them a chance to do it. Things to help the Jersey Guard and students like Warren Vaughn to get.
And then I'm also going to help ensure everyone is aware, I'm going to add that the survey app has a capability where usable, it didn't speak or skip from your smartphone. So let's say if you know that it's for responders that you just think that something has to be run on a computer or it has to be on a secure network, it does not, it's only that what kind of function. Just take it. And then if let's say you get started on a session and you get pulled away from something, say you end up doing you can always go back later on and finish it. It saves and gives you don't lose the data you already have. So that hence why if anyone of them started it and still receiving harassing emails, but if you receive constant emails, it's just a reminder, okay, you know, that you like to finish your survey. I'm done already.
You haven't taken the survey?
I started it.
You need to start. Are there any other questions will be wondering?
It's yes, so I'm to change. I think it would be important to tell us, do you have any examples from the DEOCS survey to spark change or your connection? I was thinking through it.
So, I want to make sure I get your question correctly. Are you saying that we should get input from you before we create a plan of action? Is that what you're saying? No.
Just examples.
And
It's actually worked in change.
yeah, I so agree. So one of the things that the prevention program is tasked with is to create a work group. And that's why I said we will be talking to you in order to create that kind of action. So yes, we're collaborating with stakeholders. Yes, we're collaborating with leadership, but we also need to collaborate with a work group, and the recommendation is E6 and below or O2 and below. Oh, there's no below. Well, O2. O2 and below. Yeah. Yeah. So, and we collaborate and we want to talk about what will work, because only the people in the unit knows what worked before, what was implemented before, what doesn't work. So yes, there will be a group of soldiers in here.
Or how is he today?
For the 177, I don't know if you recall, it was about last year, so we had our own DEOCS program. There was indicator in the survey, maybe there's some disparity or some concerns within the female population. And so as a result of that DEOCS review, a working group was formed with primates, publicists, others. They had sessions that we kind of dig in and find out, is there really an issue with their thing regarding the female population or not? They had meetings, they had surveys, and there was a plan of action. This still may works. It's not crazy, but things like making sure that the Black Asian groups were, appropriately staffed and managed as far as where they were located, and some other actions. So you asked for a specific example. That's one that I can point to because I've been going at that time and going through that. So with effort and good work to organizations, we can get after something.
And if I could just add too, we always tend to focus on DEOCS sorting out negatives, bringing up problems, but it also is an opportunity to bring up positive things people are doing. And we saw that last year too. There were units doing good things, and it's a way we can share best practices. So that's why it's really.
Yes, we do tend to focus on the negative and does it overall, right? But I'll say that a positive for the DEOCS is I heard you say chief about, not create something like harassment or deal, but this is a platform that's going to be comfortable, it's just anonymous, to voice those things. And they know that there are people that will see it at some point through the mitigation, trying to get clear that it'll get to the right station, right? And even though they might not be singled out, because they know who exactly it is, it's the one chance they may have and speaking up is actually happening in my unit, battalion, whatever. So it is a positive. I think that has some, it'll come to fruition and we'll be able to really see a comfortable cycle. But we have to give those time to adapt. It's like leaders, we have to adapt to change. So do they. If they start to change slowly, and they will be able to take it on their own. You won't even have to act because they'll just know the link is molding and just snap it and have results. So I do think this is a positive thing. I hope to see a couple of full fruition. And I'm happy about it.
I want to wrap up with this little wrap-ups. But the first wrap-up is I'm a social worker by trade and I love to for work, but it's not even more. I want to, from the audience, what is one thing that you heard today that moved you a little closer to take the deals, or something that you probably didn't know before, and now you're having an aha moment? And then I want to ask that same question to leadership. What is one thing that you heard from the audience that you're like, oh, okay, no, I see why.
Definitely, obviously, really good to the own as individual members that want to play, because I know those being around this that they were behind you the numbers and graduates. That was proud. So that was
Thank you. And you have our permission to spill that secret to everybody.
I think one of the things I learned from this interaction is the concerns from all theaters have in idea and sort of like it still discloses. I think it is doing this podcast and just keep efforts to build trust within our organization are the things we need to do to make you feel okay to put it in, yeah. And so I haven't even go there. But I think it's important because you sets our ID sets the thing that is important. However you're most comfortable, I think you need to pursue that avenue. What I got here is your voice, your views, you matter in this organization. And this is the best way to be affiliated that you do it.
Oh, goodness. Thank you so much, Chief. Oh, I feel like we're a football game. Air minute. And some really sexy of your food, right? You want food zone. So second wrap up, I want to tell you a few announcements. Remember at the beginning we talked about the G9 program and the umbrella of services and the scan. You can please scan our QR code. But I want to tell you about a couple of things that's going on, and then I want to see some thank yous. All right. So real briefly, Challenging Services on Thursday, 24th of October is hosting their annual Fall Festival. So Thursday, 24th of October, Challenging Services will be hosting their annual Fall Festival, and we will send this information out to everyone who sign in with their email addresses. And then also, Child and Youth Services and Soldier and Family Readiness Specialists are partnering to host the Month of the Military Family Field Day. Location to be determined, and the date is 16 November. And then on 13 December, there will be a winter wonderland from 6 to 8 p.m. That was really cool. Families can come dressed in pajamas or favorite holiday wear, enjoy a movie as well as participating in various stations with games and crafts. And we will send this all out to you. If you're interested, for those of you who are watching the podcast later on, you could reach out to Kim Jordan, and her number is 609-496-9260 and 609-847-0822. So I want to end with thank yous. I want to say thank you so very much for showing up today. You guys could have been anywhere else and you decided to spend an hour with us. So thank you so much for coming in and being in the audience and engaging in this conversation. Thank you so much to the panel members for being here, allowing us to videotape you and engaging in discussion. I want to send a huge thank out to Philip Brown and Soundwave Chicago, who is not here. He went to get the flu together and he was a little bit long. for creating a space where we can have this conversation and allowing us, to go a little bit outside the box and feel safe, to have these types of conversations. Big thank you to Silent Strength for showing up. Listen, we were going to take this all stuff, but he was like, no, you ain't. I was like, okay, no, I ain't. And he's here. Thank you so much for showing up. And like I said, this is going to be the first of many discussions. We have a podcast in October, and we will email that information out to you as well. So stay tuned. But I really want to, this is my last, I think I haven't changed, this is my last wrap up. So I want to end with what she said. There was 3 things he said. You said, take the DMs because it's your voice,
The views
it's your views, and
yourself matters.
you yourself matters to us. Thank you all.